Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. So we've been tracking the chip bill on the channel for the last week or so, starting with a certain politician that bought shares of Nvidia, which got me to thinking, as well as some of y'all in the comments, well, what are some other companies that we should consider? Now, you know Nvidia is definitely on any list when it comes to chip manufacturers, but I want to talk quickly about the bill and give you two companies, just two, that you should add to your watch list, and both of these you're probably not expecting. Now, our members, we have already talked about a total of 5, and what I did was start off with 12 and start to whittle things down to the top 5 companies that I think make the most sense. But you are getting 2. You can easily join the members only. Click the button below. Click in the description, and you can get the entire list of 5, as well as a bonus company that I did add to the list. But let's go ahead and get into it. Remember, the chip bill was a $280 billion package that was passed, but only $52 billion was earmarked for chip manufacturers, and basically they're giving tax credits and cash to companies who are going to build a bigger fabrication facility. That's basically what they are. They call them fabs for short, which means that you build a plant here, you make these chips, and these chips are obviously important. The demand for chips are not going anywhere. They're in fact only going to increase. The more electric cars we produce, regular cars, first off, already have chips in them, but that's just one reason why used cars were so expensive. But in either case, more electric cars, which we know the world is moving to, cell phones, PS5s that I don't own, computers, all that stuff, you are going to continue to see chips being made and chips being demanded. There's another way to look at that. So here are some things that you need to know. When I created this list, there are really 2 ways to look at it. You can look at those who directly manufacture chips, take Taiwan Semiconductor or Nvidia or something like that. They make the chips. And you can also go to companies that create the stuff that is needed to create the chips. So I don't know who makes fabrication facilities, who gets the materials that is used to make these chips, all that stuff. There are 2 ways to look at it. And then I guess a third way is what company would benefit from chips being made here in the US? Whose life would that simplify? Those are the things that you want to pay attention to. All right, so I've got my notes here and we'll go through this. So the first company that when we talk about chip manufacturing, I feel like never gets mentioned, and that's Broadcom. Their ticker symbol is AVGO. Now, they are down 7% in the last 6 months, and they're up about 12% over the past year, which, again, compared to the stock market, the overall stock market, the S&P 500, this is really good, and this could be a great buying opportunity because over the next 5 years or so, the U.S. government is going to be spending money on helping these types of companies create more chips here in the States. So they could be a big beneficiary, and they're not nearly as down as something like Nvidia. Nvidia is one of my favorite companies. I've talked about it before. It may or may not be on any other list. However, they're down 20% this year. Okay, or I'm sorry, over the last 6 months, which is most of the year, but y'all get the point. Actually, no, we're in August now, so there's 2 months missing there. But over the last 6 months, Nvidia is down 20%. Broadcom is only down 7%. A single-digit loss, not including today's return. That's actually from Friday's return. That ain't that bad. That really ain't that bad. And again, up double digits of 12% in the last year. Something to add to your list. Now, next company. Let's go and close my laptop. Next company here is one that I would not have naturally added to my list until I dug in and did more research. That one is Apple. Now, yes, you know I like Apple. Most of y'all like Apple, blah, 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 blah. Here's the key, though. When you talk about Apple, Apple has already moved from Intel to create their own chips. That is a fact. Okay, that's why they made a big deal about the chips that are going into their MacBooks and their phones and all that kind of stuff. Right now, their main supplier of chips is Taiwan Semiconductor. Taiwan Semiconductor as a stock has not done all that well. However, Taiwan Semiconductor is building a chip factory, a fab, in Arizona. Arizona is closer to California, which means, and to draw these threads here, which means it's going to help Apple with their supply chain. Apple's one of their biggest customers, not their only customer. However, Apple is known to try to really master the supply chain, and they've been able to navigate it quite well. To have a record $83 billion in revenue is a testament to that. However, by Taiwan Semiconductor already moving here, now they're going to receive more tax credits to expand even more as they continue to do this. This is going to help someone like Apple, who is already doing quite well. We saw what they did in their last revenue call. So I'll give you their performance numbers real quick, and then we'll wrap it up here. But again, the other thing is not always looking at who's exactly producing the chips. It's called a pick and shovel play. I get that from my friend Courtney at the IB Investor. And it's, yeah, you're making the chips, but who's making like the shovels? Who's making all the material that goes into it? So Apple is only down 4% in the last 6 months, and they're up 11.67%. So let's call it 12% over the last year, which is really close to where Broadcom is. So these are the two companies that I think are going to benefit the most. However, it is going to benefit these companies, but it's also going to benefit you as an investor. There are tons of companies out there that are going to benefit from this. I had a list of 12 to start out with and narrowed them down to 5 for our members. But just because it's going to benefit them doesn't mean it's going to benefit you as an investor. A lot of chip companies out there that ain't doing so hot, right? And if I even zoom out 5 years, a bunch of companies were like, barely beat the S&P 500. These did over the long term and definitely over the short term have outperformed. I think can make a good deal to at least add to your watch list and strongly consider. If you want the full list, you know where to go. Check out the members only, buildingbread.com/members. We do one video at least every single week that goes into a deep dive of what is going on in the market, what do you want to learn about more, and how can you find out some really interesting information in terms of where investors are putting their money. All right, that is it for me. I'll talk to you later.